Being a great leader means creating an environment where your team can thrive. But amidst this focus on others, have you ever paused to consider, how do you sustain this momentum? How do you prevent burnout? And most importantly, who's looking out for you? Is it taboo for a leader to ask, what about me? I'm Eric, Leadership Development. This week we're going to villainize the question, what about me? Is it wrong for the leaders to look out for themselves? Right now, I'm applauding you as a growing leader to be thinking of others. That you'll do anything to create that environment, to build that trust, and to show that you care. And I want you to continue that way. But if you remember in this video here, Alex said that if you cannot fill another person's cup until your cup is full. It's trickle-down leadership. It's the ability to keep yourself nourished to be able to help others. Just like they say in the pre-flight, put your own oxygen mask on before you help others. Because you can't help others if you're burnt out, unconscious, incapacitated. When you find yourself fighting the urge to ask, what about me? This is where we realize, and we're going to take that moment. We're going to acknowledge that question is asked. Because there's a reason for it. Just like anxiety, it's telling us something. It's telling us that we need to stop, look at the environment, look at the situation, and determine what is truly going on. See, as a leader, you're so busy looking out for everybody else, looking out for the organization, looking out for the growth of towards the vision, that you rarely look at yourself. But when that moment comes and that question pops up, acknowledge it, embrace it. Let that be the cue to let you know that something's not right. And it's mostly inside you. What are the things you can do to get past this resistance of asking the question, what about me? Because what's interesting is, as you were growing as the leader, you had a mentor, you had a boss that actually looked out for you. They checked up on you. They made sure that your personal side was in line with your professional side. They were making sure that you were growing fully. So what can you do? First, we talked about the wellness wheel. We talked about these 8 great areas that will help you balance out your life. This is a great guideline to help you figure out where to begin, or trying to problem frame of where you're at, where you need to be, and what you can improve on. The second thing you look at is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You see, it's as simple as having somewhere to reference. And the reason why I'm using the needs is because everything else is a want. So you took care of the survival, you took care of the love and belonging, you took care of the safety, protection, you're taking care of the identity, and you found growth. Everything else is a luxury. I want you to find comfort in knowing that your people cannot grow unless you're growing as well. As you're growing, you're bringing your people with you. If you're not growing, how are you really going to be able to set the example for them to lean on when they're struggling? And that's another great part of this, is when you're struggling, imagine how they're struggling. If you're struggling that much, they're struggling tenfold. And that's where then it allows you to take that pause again and look at your people in that lens. How are they doing? Are they burning out? Are they overachieving? Are they putting themselves in a position that will cause harm in the long run, even though they're getting great short-run returns? You have to be able to understand what burnout looks like. Hell, I can tell you what burnt out looks like. It's my 3rd tour in Iraq, and I was getting all the flight time I wanted. And I made that magical number of 100 hours in 1 month of doing combat operations. And at first I thought I hit this moment of pride, this huge milestone. But what I learned from that was it wasn't something to be proud about. It was something to be a concern. There's a reason why they have you get looked at by the doctors and the psychologists after 100 hours. You will burn yourself quickly. Yes, that short run in that month, I did some great things. But that second month, man, did I struggle. I struggled to pick myself up to be able to achieve half the results that I achieved in the month before, because I was so damn burnt out. I want you to understand for yourselves, you can be the same way. You can have that great month. But if you keep trying to sustain that, you will find You're going to burn yourself out. You won't be able to achieve a quarter of what you did the previous month. Pay attention to those things. They're important to you. I mean, I want you to understand that burnout is for real, and burnout is really hard to get out of. Let's say I'm at the gym, and usually in the summertime, I'm trying to do my best work because it's nice out and it's beautiful out and I want to be doing all. But as soon as I burn out because I've overdone it, it takes me 4 months to get out of that burnout and just to start rebuilding to achieve the goals that I started achieving. That's how bad burnout will take you. Professionally, personally, physically, spiritually, mentally, I don't care what it is. It all takes time. And when I mean time, we're not talking about weeks. We're not talking about a month. We're talking about 4 months to recover from burnout. That's why I always question why we only give our people 4 weeks for a vacation when it takes that much more time for our people to get past burnout, to recoup, to recover, and do great work. The way you can sustain once you build your balance is to be able to set the boundaries. Boundaries are not bad, but they can be overused. Just like everything else in life, everything has to be in balance. When people want to have your time, be in your time when you're trying to take care of your own growth, you have to really put a hard limit to it. You cannot allow exceptions, because once they take an inch, they'll take it to the whole mile. And then you'll never get that back until you reestablish it again, which usually happens because you're mad and frustrated and want your time back. For me, I wanted my time to think, to get away from 200 some people asking me questions of what I thought, even though I delegated the authority at different levels to make decisions. People were always wanting FaceTime with me. They wanted to have that time to work, to get my permission for something, to bounce ideas off of, or get career advice. And I love it. That's what leadership's about. But I also had set time for myself to go work out. So being a pilot, I would find 10:30 was a good time for me to change clothes, go into my running gear, and do about a lap around the whole airfield. It's about good 4 to 6 miles. Depends how you did it. But anytime somebody saw me in my workout gear, that was kind of the visual clue of, I got a question for you, but I know you're going to run, and so I'm not going to bug you with it. Or, sir, give me 30 seconds, I'm going to change over and I want to run with you and bounce some ideas off of you. Those were perfectly acceptable because I still had my workout time, but it allowed them to have one-on-one time away from the squadron, away from the aircraft, and be able to just explore ideas that you don't really talk about in front of others. So those were great ideas that worked well for me. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with boundaries, but at the same time, too many boundaries makes you unattainable. And if you're not approachable, are you really leading? Just remember, as a leader, there's no such thing as it's lonely at the top. You have to have a network of other like-minded leaders that help each other out, that help each other grow. It's kind of like getting past that zero-sum game where we talked in this video, that it's important for you to have others that help you rise to the occasion, that help you perpetuate a sense of competition that allows you to grow, that motivates you to grow. Having that network goes a long ways. And never ever allow anybody in charge or anybody towards the top say it's lonely at the top. You know as well as I know, they're just doing it wrong. So it's important to remember that having that network where you can bounce ideas off of these people who are in your life to help you refine your vision, to help you create a vision, or just help you overcome challenges that others might have seen. Remember, we can't experience everything, but we can access other people who have experiences in different areas that allows us to have then a database of possible solutions to overcome challenges. To answer the question, is it taboo for a leader to ask, what about me? We know that the answer is no. We know that for you to be a top performer for the long run, you have to ask that question, what about me? But please ask that question after you've figured out what about them. You're off to a great start. You're doing great things, and people are looking up to you. And you're setting the example by the fact that you're showing your own growth by, by looking out for how you can become better. Because then they'll want to be better. To show you how great they are, they want to show you that they're improving as well. And by having that example, you go a long ways. If you need a reminder of what the wellness wheel is, hey, check this video out right over here. We'll talk to you again next week.